Hi everyone, VortexTCG here, and today I'm going to be showcasing you the final game of locals with my opponent playing BeelStarmon Control, and I'm going to be playing, Garurumon. And if you enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe. Your support is greatly appreciated. And the next set of games is going to be something quite interesting. Let's just say I'm going to be looking at a BT5 archetype, quite far back, but hope you guys will look forward to that. But anyways, I have to pass the turn here because I don't really have any other play that makes sense here, unfortunately, because if I was to, for example, go into level 4, I won't get the full advantage. So it feels like a bit of an awkward situation to be in for sure. So my opponent's going to play the Darkness Wave to mill 3, and then he's also going to play, I believe this is the Nail Bone to pass the turn by playing a level 3 and level 4, but he doesn't have a level 4, so he just plays out the level 3. So at this point, I've got a lot of memory to play with, so it might be the time that I decide to be a bit more aggressive with the deck, but as you'll see from my hand, I don't really have much going on, so I just hard play the MetalGarurumon Ace because might as well take advantage of the low cost in this situation. But as you can see, my opponent has the Fly Bullet in hand, which I'm sure he's going to use, but he's going to swing with the Impmon first, mill 3, and then he's able to, I think he mills double Mist Memory Boost there, and another Impmon, and then he uses the Fly Bullet to delete the MetalGaruru Ace, and then he gains 4 memory back, but I go to 3 anyways. So it's back to my turn, and I keep in raising again, go into the Garurumon, then go into the Garurumon X antibody, get to draw again, and at this point I've got a pretty decent stack here, but I think I'm lacking a level 5, which is going to be very problematic for myself, because, well, this deck requires a level 5 to go into its big play. So here I decide to Underworld Call to play out the Garurumon, and the reason why I do this is because I want to apply some more pressure, but I also get another stack to play on, which could be very vital in the mid to late game. So my opponent's going to count here about how many he has in his trash, because obviously he plays BeelStar, and reducing is one of the key things about that deck, but he decides to go into Rival's Barrage into the Garurumon, which is a very interesting play, but it definitely does slow me down in this situation. So don't really have much else, so I swing with the Garuru. I get to use the effects. The reason why I do this is because I need to find the level 5s and the level 5s fast, so I just use all the effects. The first security is the Mist Memory Boost, which is very nice because that means I'm still able to have the stack here, which is very, very good for myself. So now it's just a case of, can I do more with this hand? And I think, if I'm correct, I don't actually have another level 5 in hand, so even when I go so far in my deck, I'm still not able to find it. Swing again, I believe that is the EX2 Impmon. Apologies for the glare. It's something that I definitely don't want to keep happening with these videos, but unfortunately my locals has lights everywhere, so there's going to be like some sort of some sort of glare at some point, unfortunately. So apologies for that. He plays the Darkness Wave for free, gets to mill 2 of the 7 cost option cards, which will help him fuel the BeelStarmon here. Checking out how many he has. But he decides to add back the Defex and then play the Defex because, well, it does everything that he needs in this situation. It helps him control the field, yeah, at this point it is very difficult to make a comeback in my opinion because, well, it's really difficult for MetalGaruru to deal with it unless you bounce a bunch of cards, which obviously this deck can do, but yeah, it's definitely a bit iffy for sure. So then I go into the Garurumon in raising. It's one of the things I don't like doing with this deck. I would rather do it when, you know, it's not in raising, so I can get the draw and a discard to get a guaranteed Matashida effect. But in this case, I just got to start building the stack essentially. So here I play another Matashida because this essentially allows me to go and cheat some Digi-Evolutions with the memory tame or the memory gain from the Matashida. So that's very important for the deck for sure. And at this point, my opponent is going to be looking at the trash to see how many his cost is reduced by, and I think he has one in hand. Yep, so he's going to consider, you know, which one he wants to play here. I think he was having trouble counting them all up again because it's like different counts. It's because he plays the other BeelStarmon. It's a situation of you know, how many cards does he have in trash, and then how many cards does he have for the effect, essentially. So he passed the turn back to me, and this is the time that I have to, you know, really start making some sort of like move on the deck, essentially. So I promote here because this is going to be my last turn anyways. Don't really have much choice in the matter at this point. So I go into the Garurumon X antibody. Unfortunately, I don't get the effect because it doesn't have X antibody or the Garurumon underneath, and this just sums up my frustrations with the deck because I think I just drew the Garurumon that I needed, which would definitely help quite a bit in this situation. So I go into the MetalGarurumon Ace here, trash free to gain 3 memory, tap those 2 to gain additional 2 memory to continue my turn. And I believe I swing. Oh no, not just yet, but I think either way I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because I'm going to have to start deleting things, and the lowest cost is a guide that mills free, so it just feels very, very awkward. So I start using the effects of draw 1 and discard 1. I discard a Nidhogg to gain additional memory, draw 1 again and discard another Underworld, get to draw an additional card from that. And then I'm also using, I believe, the MetalGarurumon to pop, and then it hits a Impmon in this situation, so a little bit pleased for that at least, but I don't think it's going to stop the aggression that my opponent's going to be showing just in a bit. So go into the Metal X antibody, which allows me to unsuspend and bounce a guy, so I get to bounce both of them because it says bounce the lowest levels, so that's very nice. It keeps me in the game, but he does have the BeelStar that has a rush, so it can be a little bit iffy. So I swing at security here, and maybe this is a bit of a mistake, but if I know one thing, it's the fact that this deck will, you know, find a way to delete it anyways, so might as well just go for the swing and then pass the turn. And pass the turn here is very unfortunate because, I mean, I would rather keep my turn by playing a rookie, see if there's any way out, because if I have potentially 1 or 2 rookies, I might be able to do something here, but I think that ends the game for me, unfortunately. So because my opponent has, as you can see, the starter deck BeelStarmon here, which is very effective because it allows him to essentially be way more aggressive in this situation. He can mill 1 and then play out Impmon, and that has rush, so he potentially has 3 swings on this turn. So he swings with the BeelStar, hits a Garurumon X antibody in the security, and he's just going to count it again just to make sure. He's got all the memory in the world essentially at this point because all the stuff is heavily reduced, so I don't think it really matters that much, unfortunately. But he swings into the security. It's a Defx. Obviously it's the Garurumon that I need. He goes into the Calling from Darkness to add back the BeelStar here. Does another count in this situation, and then he plays the BeelStar here for 1, gets to, I believe, play, not 100% sure, I think it's the Nail Bite, but allows him to play out the Ginkakumon promote in his trash, and I believe that swings the game. Oh no, he doesn't have it in this situation. He just plays out these guys, which could definitely be very effective, but he then goes into, I think he's just going to play out another blocker here. Yep, he plays out another blocker here to pass me to 3, get to mill 2, and that's the card he was looking for, the Ginkaku promote. But I think good for him, lucky for him, can't really do anything anyways on this turn, so I think in this situation I am going to lose game 1. I'm going to go to the X antibody here, see my options, I'm going to look at the hand and then pretty much say, let's go to game 2. We then get into game 2, and I get at least a rookie this time, so I feel a bit more better. And as you can see, I've got level 5 in my hand, so must be a Christmas miracle. So I go into the Gabumon to end the turn, and this Gabumon is actually very, very nice. You'll be kind of surprised about how much the 1 additional memory actually matters sometimes. It really does matter sometimes, because in this situation, I would be at 2, but in this case, I go to 3. I think I'm not doing that just yet for some reason. There we go. But unfortunately, my hand isn't as great as I want it to be, unfortunately. Definitely could be a lot more better, but I think I swing here, yep, and it hits a Garurumon, which is very unfortunate because I was expecting to hit a, you know, a big piece of removal, because if that happened, then I would at least, you know, get rid of one of those cards, but it also fuels him as well, which is problematic. He hits the security, it's the Gabu X antibody, which unfortunately for him doesn't kill the Eismon scatter mode. So I promote here, and it's definitely a bit of a weird situation. I think I was just checking a ruling there maybe, or my phone was blowing up or something like that, I don't know. But I swing at security, I use some effects here which allows me to draw and discard, and the reason why I do this is because I kind of need to be a bit more aggressive. I know it's a bit weird, but I do need to apply some more pressure. Hits an Impmon, so I'm very lucky for that one for sure. And I do get the X antibody here from the Garurumon, which is very, very important, because that essentially means that his Eismon scatter mode doesn't get the value that it deserves. So feels pretty good in this situation, so allows me to bounce back the Eismon scatter mode, and his advantage train has gone. So I'm definitely feeling like I've got a lot more confidence going into this matchup, feel a little bit more better about it. But you know, he's still got free security, though security could be really game changing, which is the problem, I guess. But I discard one to gain additional memory. I swing, I use the effect here to delete the Impmon. The reason why I delete the Impmon here is because I don't want him to digivolve into the Eismon scatter mode to get additional free and discard 2, which he might end up doing. But unfortunately I hit a BeelStar in security, and there goes my advantage. Obviously I was expecting to hit something in security, but hitting it in that situation really did suck. So he goes into the, I believe this is the BT6 Impmon, which allows him to return one, but he decides not to, and I'm back to building up my stack. So here I play the Tamer just so I can, you know, continue getting that advantage. He swings at security, hits a MetalGarurumon X antibody, which allows him to draw 3 and discard 2, then draw 2 and discard 1, and then draw 1 and discard 1, I believe. So he discards the Nail Bone and the Scatter mode. Goes into, or gets rid of a bunch of other cards as well. Oh, this wasn't the Demi-Mirror, it was the Pagumon that mills 2. Apologies for that. So at this point he's got pretty good control, and this is what I was expecting. But actually I don't think he could have done that, because he just played it this turn. I caught him. He's cheating. Everyone's cheating against me. You see this? When I play Garuru, everyone cheats against me. Disgusting behaviour. No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentional at all, and I didn't catch it, so that's on me as well. But yeah, apologies. I hope that doesn't ruin the game for you guys. I wonder if it actually does end up mattering in this situation. We'll be interested to watch that now. Anyways, he's going to look at his trash to see what he can play out for cheap, and in this case I think he's thinking about the BeelStar, and I think that's what he's going to end up doing here. He's hovering over it quite a lot, but he's also thinking about deleting the Eismon to get some more advantage going. So he's got a few options here. So he plays the BeelStarmon, gives what was this, 2/5 I think, but I think he does this in, the reason why he does this is because it does threaten lethal on the next turn, so I understand why he does this exact play. I then go into the Gabu X antibody, gets to search. I get the Garurumon here, which is very much needed because the other one cannot digivolve from the Gabu X antibody, which is a very annoying pain point of this deck. The Garurumon allows me to draw 1 and discard 1 here. In this case, I'm going to discard the Nidhoggmon and then tap to gain additional memory from the Matashida. Apologies for the shaking. Need better support, I guess. Then I go into the Garurumon X antibody in this situation. Then I go into the Garurumon, which allows me to draw 1 again from the Digievolution. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident, but I've also got to start clearing his board. So I swing into the Eismon here, and the reason why I have to do this is because if I don't, and if I swing at security and it dies, then, well, I might as well just give away the game. So he draws 3 and then discards 2. And I think while he's not that close to deck out, there are guys that on the field that can definitely be pushed towards that win condition if it does go that late. So in this situation, I swing at security and hits a Trump Sword, but luckily for me, Trump Sword deletes unsuspended guys. So lucky me, I guess. So I go into the Where Guru X antibody, which allows me to bounce one back. It's going to be the Eyesmon scatter mode in this situation. And I guess now it's just a case of what the security is, because if the security is something big, I do lose kind of just on the spot essentially. So I swing, hoping that it's not going to be anything bad. I then go use its effect to discard to delete the Impmon to protect myself, and then the card is going to be a Rival's Barrage. So that pretty much spells the end of the game for me, it feels like, because if I was to play anything, he'll be able to delete it with a BeelStarmon, for example. So it definitely doesn't feel that great. Does the additional swing from my opponent matter in this situation? I do think it does. Here's some cards, by the way. For some reason, one of our locals members, Joe, just decided to give opponent on the right here a free Proxymon. Wish it was me, I guess, but is what it is. So at this point, I'm just thinking about, okay, is there any way that I could potentially, apply some more pressure? And I think the way that I have to do this is the way that I decide to not do this correctly. And I think here, I'm just looking at my resources, and I think here I go into the Metal X, and I think this is definitely the misplay from my behalf. I think if I just go into another level 3, I think I'd be fine here, because I don't think he has the Gewalt. So he swings and then he goes, I believe he's got the Ginkaku, so it's just a case of that. And as I did that, essentially I just give him the win. So he goes into Calling for Darkness, deletes the BeelStar as the Ginkaku, and then plays the Ginkaku for game.